Believe it or not, you're not behind AI yet. Why am I saying so? Because things have changed drastically right now. What AI was and what it was able to do last year versus what is it able to do right now with the new frontier models coming in, things have completely changed. The quality of things that were delivered previously versus right now have drastically improved in any segment. Researching has got very easy and better. The accuracy of the models have become better. So what people need to do right now, like basically, AI is something that everyone should embrace. How? That's the question. So I have a list of points for you all. So let's go through it. So the first thing, play around with multiple models. When I say models, I mean multiple AI tools or platforms. For example, I personally use multiple things in my day-to-day life. I use Claude, I use ChatGPT for API related things for development and plugin. I use OpenRouter's API to use multiple models out there. I use GenSpark for more agentic kind of stuff and more researched documenting and presentation wise stuff. I use Vercel's V0 for front end and design related things, like really good front end experiences. I've used at least 10 to 15 different AI tools in past 1.5 years, but settled on just 4 or 5 of these. And this is very important because people do not understand that it is not like Microsoft Excel or Google Sheet that it's just something which would just do a good job. It's not just a tool. It is ways how people are working on these tools. Let's take a very, very simple example. For coding related things, like for automating or for making any projects easily, just while prompting and typing, there are so many projects available. There's Emergent, there's Lovable, there's Bolt, there's V0. You can also do things on Cloud Code Codex and other places as well. But yeah, these are like a couple of options which are there. I'm saying these because I've tried all of them out. Now, all of these perform very differently, and their purpose is also very different. Their target audience is very different. End of the day, every tool is a company. They are a business. They are here to make profits. And a thumb rule for any business is that the business needs to create or lock in their ICP or a target audience. The companies need to put out their ICP or target audience with respect to which they market, promote, and build the product in that direction. Now, for a very, very simple example, most of these companies work in a very similar region, but the way of them working is very different. Some put out full stack stuff, some are very, very specifically into front end designs, some are very specifically into full stack, but specific set of things. You cannot build low latency based applications with these tools overall. Let's say if you're using Lovable and you expect to build, let's say, a clone of WhatsApp, like in the minimal fashion, or just a messenger, you won't be able to do that. You probably might get a design or something ready, but you cannot. So basically that's where the knowledge comes in, that who are you, which domain do you work in, how do you want to use these platforms. And I'm assuming that anyone out there would be paying for such tools. Like there's of course a free version available with like very minimal usage, but if there's decent use and someone wants any meaningful value delivered out of these platforms, you'll need to subscribe to the most basic plan, at least get something out there. Now the question is, how do we evaluate? The evaluation is based on basically a couple of parts or components where it should resonate with what you're directly working on and what is the value of money that you're expecting out of it. Let me now quickly put out a couple of user personas. Let's say if you're a developer at any software or an IT company, there are very high chances that your company might give you a paid plan of something, let's say Claude or Codex, like one of these mostly, or Cursor, or probably even a Copilot. So, firstly, it's very important for you to use any of these platforms to start with because you have an upper hand to use these AI tools in a paid manner. So, that is like a good part of it. But if your company is flexible in providing you with tools, probably you should research more. But yeah, these are like good options to use. And then don't settle on one. That's the key thing. If let's say your company is providing you access to Claude or Codex, or you have an option to just choose, use both of them or use Cursor as well. Use like as many things as you can for let's say smaller piece of work. Just see if you have to I'll take a very simple example. Let's say for a backend engineer and your day-to-day activities are creating API, creating database schemas, optimizing for latency or adding any functionality to the system as small features. So probably pick one of these smaller tasks, but use different platforms for different features and see what delivers well, what delivers in lesser time, what delivers in lower cost, what delivers that you personally like or you personally gel with. So there's a lot of differences. The major difference comes at the AI hardness part of it. Or every platform that you use would have a different set of orchestration layer and the toolings out there. So that is for the first user persona. Second is, let's say you are a student. For students, there's a lot of things where you all can get like some grants or some good credits from different platforms affiliated to your university, or by just having a student ID card or something to be displayed. But yeah, what students need to do is you all need to learn and be aware of most things, because the very basic thing where AI comes into picture is that AI needs someone to steer them. Now the driver, let's say if there's a car that I need to drive, I need to know everything. Like if I'm learning how to drive a car, I wouldn't directly start to learn an automatic car, right? Like I can, but I need to know the basics of it, that what is clutch, what is accelerator, what are brakes, how to get hands on steering, how much if I move in what direction, where the car will go, how to put in gears, or even if it is an automatic car, how to put in a gear where what is drive, what is parking, and other things, how to adjust your seat according to the best experience and the most safest experience that you drive. So there's a lot of things that you need to learn first or practice first in order to steer the car well. In a very similar manner, if you don't have experience or if you don't have the knowledge of how things would work, you need to gain knowledge. So that is the separate part where I think students should majorly focus on evaluating platforms that helps them learn more and understand and read more case studies and document it. Like document each case study, go very deep into it, ask questions. Like the best thing that you will have is ask questions to AI. That probably build a project with AI first. Make sure you have a working prototype of anything, test it out like till whatever extent you all can go, and then use AI itself to explain and put out every component like in very specific orders, and then go through it. That how do you use it? I honestly won't recommend learning syntax and reviewing things in those manners at this point of time, because we've just moved far ahead. So this is one thing that you all should use. So similar thing like I mentioned for the previous version, you all should use many platforms for building. Use either Codex or Claude Code or Cursor or any of those platforms. Build it, then use like for that code base, use Claude, use GPT, use Kimi, use many version queries that you can put in, and just try to understand very deeply. Let's say you spend 2 to 3 days to build a project or a week to build a project. Spend at least 1 week to just learn about that project, diving in very deep, because this is what will help you either get hired or build something very useful or valuable. So this is for the students majorly. I'm just considering very technical sense of students, but let me also go in a different direction. Let's say a student who's, let's say, studying commerce, like something in accounting or let's say business space. There as well, it just becomes easier, because what people are doing is they were learning. Right now you have access to research all the content piece in the world and just figure out that how do you grasp and gain that knowledge by reading so much. You can literally ask AI to build case studies on very relevant and recent things that have been happening. For example, let's say if you are in a B school and doing an MBA or something like that, let's say it's all about case studies. So probably figure out what is latest happening. Let's say something very recent that, but yeah, let's just say that how did Emergent go from 0 to 100 million ARR in just 8 months? That's a pretty solid use case to study for any business person. So that is what you all can do, like research in very, very deep levels. Try to put your thesis on it, that okay, what exactly happened, you'll get to know there. But figure out how things actually work, how you can think in those directions. So it's all about researching. So again, use multiple tools. Use Kimi 2.6, use Claude Deep Thinking, use Gemini Pro's Deep Research. I really like Gemini Pro's Deep Research, by the way. Use GenSpark Research. Perplexity is also a good option for researching. So use multiple of these things, and then settle on not just one but at least two things to know and evaluate that okay, this is good for XYZ and this is good for PQR. So just have like options and alternatives available always. And I just want to give one more example. So taking a very different sort of target audience, let's say something who's like very, very into non-techs. Let's consider a case of someone who's studying law, or probably practicing law, either of these. So in this case also, you all could literally download PDFs or just purchase PDFs of different books and other things. And in the same manner, you all could firstly go through these case studies. You all could create case studies. You all could literally create case studies, like which probably haven't happened, but you all are just trying to sharpen yourself in terms of the conversations, the thinking levels that you all need. And legality is something that is very different, right? But try to use models and try to learn about skills, that how you can generate a skill or probably use an existing one and test things on top of it. So for example, let's say write like 2-3 pages of something that you know very well of, or probably pull out a document that you are very, very well versed with, and you know that this is something that you have complete knowledge of. So take that and use that as a training set for the AI to learn something. And you need to get stronger in prompting, that how do you prompt something and how do you put a document to, let's say, ChatGPT, Claude, or any of the other models as well, where you build a system, or you can build a system where you feed in some information to the system, and without any hallucinations, like with least hallucinations or 100% accuracy, you should be able to answer any questions out of it. So basically, the way I would suggest is, whatever you are well versed with, put that document, ask relevant questions, or ask it to generate which you find is like most complex or most tricky, and then in terms of that, try to get answers. So basically, what you would be able to do is that any legal document or report that needs to be made, generated, studied, or answered from AI, you just put that in and you just ask questions, and anything that would be generated from it would be like 100% accurate if using that skill. Because there's always hallucinations, and the only thing that AI lacks right now is reliability. But yeah, this is something where case to case people can work on things and get things ready which actually work out for them in a good manner. So this is basically what I suggest, how I put out things and make sure that it is something which clicks and works with the masses over there. And this is a very, very simple, basic, beginner friendly conversation that I've been making. If there's anyone listening to me, and if you find my content well, whatever I'm trying to say, I really want you to like, subscribe, and at least comment something, whatever is your like honest take on the things that I'm talking about, so that the next set of videos that I make are very relevant to the audience that I'm catering to. I would be very happy to guide and create videos which are very helpful to users that just create value. So right now for this video, let's just call it part one. And in this part, I've majorly covered like a very simple way of thinking about how to use AI. It's not even getting deep into something advanced, but giving a very initial direction that how should you all come across AI and how to deal with it. So with that, let's wrap up this first part, and I'll very soon come with the second part, where I'll probably wait for a few days or a week before doing the second part. But yeah, as soon as I get some comments and some engagement, I'll try to stick very hard to those comments and whatever you all want, and according to that I'll make my next video, and I'll be soon there with the second part, which will help you all in getting better at using AI. Thanks for watching my video. I'll be back mostly next week with another part, so yeah, stay tuned.